Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Used Jester. My name is Junior. Today, we're going to be reviewing Hasbro's Ironman Model 20. Um, and I was mistaken from an earlier video. I think this is the armor that came right after Heroes Reborn. Not necessarily right after. There was another one where he was a kid and he was like bulky hands and everything. But I think this is the one that came afterwards when he was the regular Tony Stark coming back from that universe. But I'm not sure. My mind is getting old, so let's open it up. Same thing with the accessories and everything. So let's see what's going on. And as you can see, this review is coming right after the review of this armor over here, Mark 9. And since I already had the armors out here in display, might as well put them out in the back. I know it's going to get too busy visually, but I think it's kind of cool. It gives you guys a little glimpse of my collection of armor. This is not the whole set of it, honestly. Behind me is the entire set where I have multiple copies of several armors. I have multiple copies of this one, multiple copies of this one, multiple copies of that one. And I have 2 of those. I have 10 of the guardsmen, the green one over there. I have 2 of the war machines, 2 or 3, I can't remember. I have 2 of these. I buy multiples of them whenever they go on sale. But enough of that. Let's talk about accessories. At least the accessories, this time is kind of different. It's got 4 of these. I guess blast effects. It could be used as a blast effect or boot thrusters. I suppose, but at least you know again, they're so normal from what we're seeing. It's almost unmentionable or not necessarily needing mention, but it's there. It's an accessories, and of course, it comes with these 2 fists, these 2 interchangeable hands, which is good. At least now we're back to the hinges. Hasbro, we're back to the hinges. Thank you. I don't know what you guys were thinking, reusing those other ones. I thought there was there's a joint here. Almost seemed like there could be to twist it, but it's not. It's just a back and forth hinge. But again, they're just using bare plastic on this one. A little bit of translucency, but it kind of works. I'm okay with that. And here's the figure by itself. This is right out of the packaging. I haven't even twisted it around to make it look a little bit more presentable. So let's do that now. I really hope this is easily fixed. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't like the fact that there is some sort of something, not a hinge or not a ratchet, but something's going on in this there, in that abdomen that makes it naturally go towards to the side, which I find very, very irritating. Maybe if I heat it up, I mean, you can kind of pose it and fix it a little bit, but it has a tendency to go back to that pose. It might be just plastic inside there that's not sitting down correctly. Because of the pattern of this abdomen thing, you want it to line up, right? It just doesn't want to. Something's going on in that hinge. But we're seeing a preview of the hinge that's going on here. That's cool. Anyway, so right, so there it goes again. That's probably a QC issue, so we'll try to hold it off like that. Very, very gently. I like the design of this, which is kind of weird because I don't like the design of this, but as you can see, there's a transition of the design between these 2. I believe this armor came before this one. This is the Extremist. I believe this is the armor that came after Heroes Reborn, or pattern after Heroes Reborn, because the Heroes Reborn has something similar to this, but it has like piping, and then he has like some sort of striations here to simulate muscle work. But this is not the Heroes Reborn armor. Oh, and look at that. I never even noticed that. It actually has butterfly joints here. That's cool. This one also kind of has it too. Now that is really a good translation between the two. I like that. I like the fact that you can see the history of the design. All right. After reviewing a little bit more the history, I guess I was wrong. This is the armor that comes after the Heroes Reborn armor, and later on, much later on, because that's supposed to be armor 16. This is more armor 20, and then Extremis comes afterwards. So again, I just need to reiterate, I do like the fact that there's a transitioning of the design coming from here to here. But as you can see, this is what I was referring to, that I don't like this coloring, because look, this is almost the same type of armor, and yet I like the design of this one. I like the coloring of this one because it has a lot more starker, deeper red, and the yellow or the goldish tone kind of works for me on this one. Um, you know what? I still haven't properly reviewed this anyway, and I'm already commenting on it. So let's look at the head sculpt first. So I really like the design of this head sculpt. It's got a lot of that pattern going on here. Now this is definitely has to be the inspiration of of the design that they took for the Marvel Universe Iron Man, because it has this angular look, very much like the. You can see how where they copied the Iron Man armor from the MCU. Of course, that the arc reactor is triangular. You have this one over here. Doesn't have, and then the fence over here has been moved, so it's more incorporated. Yeah, so this is very, very reminiscent of the Marvel Universe Iron Man, right? I kind of feel like if they had gone with this route anyway, it would have been more successful. Then, of course, you have this thing with the gauntlet, so that's also very reminiscent of the Iron Man armor. Which, you know what, we should bring out. So I'm kind of glad that they redid the Mark III from the Iron Man universe, because um, it definitely scales much better with this one, and with the fact that they borrowed a lot of the design from this one. Now he kind of fits in the um, comic book collection. He's not standing out as much now, right? So we can see some of the similarities where they somehow softened the angular look of the faceplate. Now we can see how, look at that, how they borrowed a lot from the design aspect of this one into this one, but they softened the curvature or the angles a little bit more. Um, you have the shoulder plates over here, the design of this to this hand over here. Yeah, so we can really see where they borrowed a lot of this one. But now finally, I have a place for him with the Marvel comic book. Of course, he's not gonna stay there. He has his own place in the Marvel Universe, cinematic universe. But let's go back to the review of this one, because there's a review is getting a little bit long as it is. Um, Goes up really nice. Look at that detail in the neck ribbing over here. Goes down really well too. Has a little bit of side to side, but definitely. And it has a little bit of movement for that neck. So that's kind of good. Um, and again, as I noticed, it has a butterfly joint. Amazing. And it still moves even though it's a little bit hampered by the shoulder plates over here. This shoulder plate is actually connected to the ball joint on the shoulder like this, so you can still have, look at that, an almost T-pose figure. Of course, it's got a double jointed on the elbows. It does have a bicep swivel. The plastic is kind of gummy rubbery, but not as bad as I've seen on some, because probably the thickness of the limbs. So you can definitely get a little bit more than 90 degrees. This is the reason why I don't like this particular design, because you lose the movement of this elbow or wrist to that. You just lose it. Of course, it's got the hole over there. Really nice. And look, he's already doing that pose thing. We kind of sort of preview that he does have an interesting movement on the upper torso over here than the waist swivel. So that he just naturally gravitates to that one twist, which is very annoying. I'm hoping that once I heat it up and rest and change the resting phase of that joint, it will go back to just being in the middle. But because of that movement on the torso, he ends up having this attitude, so, and unlike this one, where it's all plain, I do like the fact that he's got all these details on the goal to break it up. Let's see, it's already moving like that. And he can move his legs like so. He's got a thigh cut, double jointed on the knees. Because of the design here, oh, look at that, it's a separate piece, so you can still move forward like so, a little bit back, and I'm sure it's got an ankle articulation, ankle swivel side to side, but very limited as well. So I really like this design. It looks busy, and yet it's so well done. I feel it's so well done. Look at that. This is my favorite design. It's very simplistic, but this is almost like a good modernization of that design. And I don't know why I suddenly felt like this was too. It obviously takes a lot of the design incorporated that came from here to this one. I can't remember his name. Avi Aronov, who came up with this one. It's not completely original because it came from this one, and yet I just don't like the fact that it lost something. I don't know why. But yeah, I definitely like this design more than this one. And this one, of course, supposedly was designed by Alex Ross, and he was trying to take inspiration from the old one to this one. There are some parts that are kind of good with this one because it does remind me of the older one, but I feel like this just tops it off. Of course, I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that uh, even though they're the same size standing up, you can see that there's a difference in scale of the helmet. This has a smaller helmet than the rest of them. Um, because everything else, they almost kind of fit. The helmets are almost about the same size. This one got smaller, a little bit smaller. So it almost seems like he's a smaller figure, even though he stands about the same height. But the head just makes him look all the more disproportionate to the rest of them. But other than that, I really do like the design. I feel like this came out really, really well. Aside from the QC issue that's happening with my torso, um, definitely happy to have this in my collection. Thank you again for coming back to watch my channel and my videos. I do appreciate the fact that you guys are sticking around. I'm finding it harder and harder to produce the video because it takes longer to set up the whole booth here, and then to actually shoot it, and then twice as long to edit it, to cut it down as much as I can, and it's already long, and I have to listen to myself drone at least 2 or 3 times just to get it properly done. But so I really do appreciate you guys are checking out my video. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys soon on the next video. Goodbye.